Every night, you go somewhere. You lie down, you close your eyes, and within about 90 minutes, you leave. You walk through places that don't exist. You talk to people who aren't there. You feel things, real things, fear and joy and grief, about events that never happened. And then you wake up, and within minutes, almost all of it is gone. In fact, try it right now. Try to remember what you dreamed last night. For most of you, there's almost nothing there. A feeling, maybe a face, already dissolving as you reach for it. You had an entire experience, hours of it, and it slipped away before breakfast. You do this every single night of your life. You will spend around 6 years of your life doing it. And here's the strange part. After thousands of years of asking, science still cannot agree on why. We know what's happening in your brain. We can watch it. During the deepest dreaming, your brain lights up almost exactly like it does when you're awake, sometimes even more. But one part stays dark. The prefrontal cortex, the region that handles logic and judgment and asking, wait, does this make sense? It mostly switches off. That's why, inside a dream, you can be flying to your childhood home to take an exam you forgot about, with a teacher who is somehow also your dog, and never once think anything is wrong. The part of you that would object isn't awake to object, so we can see the machinery running. What we can't agree on is what it's for, and the theories people have come up with are stranger than you'd think. Let's start with the gentlest one. Maybe dreams are just housekeeping. Through the day, your brain takes in an enormous amount of information, and not all of it gets filed properly. So at night, while you sleep, your brain replays the day, sorts through what happened, and moves the memories worth keeping into long-term storage. The dream, in this view, is just what it feels like from the inside while your brain organizes its files. The weird images are fragments of real memories being shuffled and stored. It's a comforting idea. Your dreams are your brain tidying up. But that doesn't explain the fear. Because if you track what people actually dream about, a striking amount of it is threat, being chased, falling, something in the dark. One researcher, Antti Revonsuo, noticed that the most common emotion in dreams, by far, is fear, and that recurring dreams are full of danger. So he proposed something unsettling. What if dreams are a rehearsal? What if every night your brain runs you through simulations of the worst things that could happen, so that if they ever happen for real, you've already practiced? Your ancestors who dreamed of escaping the predator may have been a little faster when a real one came. In this view, the nightmare isn't a malfunction. It's training. Your fear rehearsed in the dark so you survive the daylight. And it gets stranger. Because newer research suggests dreams aren't just rehearsing fear, they might be diffusing it. In a study out of UC Irvine, people who remembered dreaming showed something specific the next day. The emotional sting of their hard memories had faded, while the memories themselves stayed. It's as if, at night, the brain takes the painful moments of your life, holds them at a safe distance, and slowly strips the pain out of them while keeping the lesson. There's a reason people say sleep on it. You might be dreaming not to remember your worst days, but to survive them, to wake up able to carry them. So that's 3 theories, and they're all kind of beautiful. Filing your memories, rehearsing danger, healing your wounds. But now we have to talk about the theory that ruins all of it, because some scientists think dreams mean nothing at all. 2 Harvard researchers, Hobson and McCarley, looked at the same sleeping brain and saw something far less poetic. During the night, the lower parts of your brain fire off bursts of essentially random signals, and the upper part of your brain, the storyteller, does what it always does. It desperately tries to make sense of the noise. It stitches the random firings into a narrative because that's the only thing it knows how to do. The dream, in this view, isn't a message. It's static. And the strange, swirling story you wake up half remembering is just your mind's best attempt to explain electrical noise it was never meant to understand. There is no meaning to decode. You wrote the dream, frantically, while you slept, out of nothing. And then there's the strangest theory of all, the newest one. A scientist named Eric Hole borrowed an idea from artificial intelligence. When you train a machine learning system on the same data over and over, it gets too good at that exact data and worse at everything else. It memorizes instead of understanding. The fix that programmers use is to feed the system noise, strange, randomized, corrupted versions of the data, to keep it flexible. And Hole looked at that and looked at dreams and wondered, what if that's what dreams are? Every day you live a fairly repetitive life. The same rooms, the same routines, and maybe, if your brain only ever learned from that, it would get too fixed, too rigid, too overfitted to your own narrow days. So every night, it generates the strangest, most warped version of your life it can. Flying, impossible places, people melting into other people, precisely to keep your mind from getting stuck. The bizarreness isn't a side effect. The bizarreness is the entire point. So which one is true? Housekeeping, rehearsal, healing, noise, or the brain dreaming up nonsense on purpose just to stay flexible? Here's the honest answer. We don't know. After all of it, all the labs and the scans and the decades, there is still no agreement on why we dream. The leading guess now is that it may not be one thing at all. That dreaming does several of these jobs at once, which is exactly why it's been so hard to pin down. But no one can tell you with certainty why you went where you went last night. And it goes deeper than dreams, because to dream is to have a full, vivid world. Sights, sounds, feelings, a sense of being someone, generated entirely inside your skull, with no input from the outside at all, which means the question, why do we dream, is quietly tangled up with the biggest unanswered question there is. What consciousness is. How a few pounds of tissue in the dark can conjure an entire experienced world. We can't fully answer that for your waking life. We certainly can't answer it for your dreams. So tonight, you'll lie down, you'll close your eyes, and in about 90 minutes, you'll leave again. Off to somewhere that doesn't exist, to feel things that never happened, guided by a process that has kept its secret through every human being who has ever lived. You've done it every night since before you can remember, and not one of us truly knows why. Sweet dreams. If this made you see something ordinary a little differently, that's the whole reason this channel exists. There's a new rabbit hole every week, the questions you never thought to ask. Subscribe so the next one finds you, and I'll see you down there.